excavator and excavators in a range of sizes, you can contact Jimbo Taverner by phoning 50757 for further information on any job, big or small. Now, into the studio this morning, a couple of guys here with us that are here at present on Island with, they're going to talk to us about radio and transmission. And first up, I'd like to welcome Charles Bonnici into the studio, and you've got an offsider with you, Charles. Very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you too. My offsider here is my colleague Alan, and he's also a member of the Caboolture Radio Club. We are here to run an expedition with our radio equipment. We got two locations at the moment, Anson Lodge and Daydreamer Lodge, and we're operating equipment from there.
And Alan, how much of the day are you transmitting? Are you going 24 hours a day? How does it work?
Well, there's various aspects to amateur radio, and my particular interest is in satellites. There are lots of satellites, amateur radio satellites, floating around in the sky, and they have predicted orbits. And the one that I've been following comes over about 4 times a day. So about 2 of those are sociable hours. So I've got a printout of those, and I set myself up to do those. So usually about an hour and a half apart. So that's my day, but other guys go during the night. And Charles, I don't know what's your time frame.
I've been operating till about that's when my eyes starts closing down at about 12:30 at night, and I tend to operate digital modes. And my coverage on digital modes has been right over to Canary Islands on the west coast of Africa, and also the Italians, Spain, and Italy. So we've been making quite a few contacts. I personally have made about 400 or 300, between 300 and 400 contacts in the past 4 days. And it's been varied between Africa, west coast of Africa to the United States. So it's quite a distance there.
So how did this come about? How did the trip to Norfolk Island come about?
Well, it was originally planned back in 2020, and then we got hit by COVID.
Yeah.
So it's just an idea to go somewhere different. There are no licensed hams on Norfolk now. There used to be one, Jim Smith.
Yeah.
Who died not so long ago. So we decided to come out here and see what we could do, and have a holiday and get to know each other.
Tell us a little bit about your club in Caboolture, and then following on to that, if the other guy who's not going to talk this time could tell us a little about the reception you're receiving here on Norfolk Island.
Well, our club is, we've got about 40 members, mostly blokes, and mostly old blokes. That's one of the aspects of the hobby that is worrying, in that there's no rejuvenation, there's no young people coming into it. But that's common with all old people's hobbies. We've got a station set up at the clubhouse in Caboolture, and we use that regularly, and that's more high power, whereas what we're doing here is more what we call portable, which is portable antennas and gear that may not be the same as we use at home, just something a bit different and a bit challenging. But we're fairly active in Caboolture. In the next couple of weeks, we've got what we call John Moyle contest, which is an Australia and New Zealand wide contest where we try and talk to as many people as possible. We also facilitate JOTA, Jamboree of the Air, for scouts in the area around Caboolture and also north of Caboolture. And what else do we do? Anything else?
Well, we basically do a lot of practice for times of emergency. I'd like to give your listeners a sort of a picture of what can happen. Imagine, for those of you that remember Cyclone Tracy, Cyclone Tracy hit very hard Darwin, as you know, and the only means of communication at the time was amateur radio. Amateur radio was the one that actually let the world know, or the rest of Australia know, that cyclone has hit, send help. And that's what we do. We practice for emergency situations. Besides being a hobby, it's a very useful medium.
And when you say you've got a club of 40 members, is it a little clubhouse that you go somewhere, or you meet at people's houses? How does that work?
We've got club rooms we've had for about 20 years. It's an ex-army hut that was brought onto site. We've got 2 huts and an alcove covered area between them, and it's a lovely place to sit on Saturday morning and just old men just yakking, not only about radio but about anything. Yeah. So and we've got a room that we can use for tuition, for training, and an operating room and a storeroom, a coffee machine, obviously. So we're lucky, and the scout area is 12 acres, so it's a nice open area.
And it's owned and run by the council or something like that, is it?
No, it's owned and run by us, and we lease our little bit of land off the scouts, who in turn lease it off the Department of Resources.
Yeah, and you meet on a Sunday morning, is that what you said?
Saturday morning, yep.
Okay.
And sometimes Monday, and if there's anything else special, we can go in there, and if there's a special radio event, we'll go in and activate for the afternoon or the evening or whatever, yeah.
Okay, and you guys have been members for a long time?
I've only been a member for about 8 years.
I have been a member for about 4 years, but there are members at the club have been there since inception. Another thing that we also do is we do training for prospective amateurs. Besides the training, we also hold examinations to get a license, which the government allows us to do because we are authorised to hold examinations.
So part of your visit to Norfolk, is it to try and search out to see if you can get a member here? Is that on the horizon?
Not particularly. No, it's just for our own pleasure, really.
Yep.
And establishes portable operations, and which is fraught with difficulties, as we found out, using equipment which if we don't use at home, we drag it out of the cupboard and bring it to Norfolk, and not quite sure if it's going to go or not. And some have and some haven't.
So obviously you knew Jim in the past, so you would have been constantly talking with Jim?
No, not constantly. Personally, I haven't spoken with him, but some of our members have. But it's not the sort of thing you do constantly. We want to communicate with people all around the world. As Charles says, the further the better. That's the challenge.
Yeah, and language is a bit of a challenge as well, is it?
Not for us. We're lucky. We speak English, and that's the lingua franca of amateur radio.
Okay.
So,
alrighty. Is there any assistance or help that you need while you guys are here?
I'd like to also say a big thank you to Paul Yelovich, who allowed us his land to put up antennas down at Anson Lodge.
Yeah. Oh, well done to Paul.
Paul Yelovich. Thank him very much.
Okay, guys, anything else that you'd like to inform the community?
not from my point of view, no.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know a little bit about amateur radio and how it works, they can contact us at Daydreamer or Anson Lodge.
Today,
because we're heading off tomorrow.
And how have you enjoyed your week?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
We've all been busy, but it's been a fantastic week.
it's been much windier than we expected. I don't know whether this is normal or not. I come from Wellington, so I'm used to the wind, but
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it here.
And that's Wellington, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.